This is the Viltrox AF 25mm f1.7 APS-C lens for the Nikon Z mount. Now today I'm going to be testing and reviewing this lens on my Nikon Z52. Now personally, I've been looking forward to this lens and I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Just a quick thank you to the team at Viltrox for sending me out this lens to test and review. But Viltrox aren't paying me to do this review, so any sort of findings or opinions I've got of this lens are all mine. So this Viltrox AF 25mm f1.7 is the latest in Viltrox's Air series of APS-C lenses they produce. I've also reviewed Viltrox's other APS-C Air series lenses in the past, including the 56mm f1.7 and more recently the 35mm f1.7. In terms of full frame equivalent focal length, the 56mm was approximately 85mm and the 35mm just over 50mm. And now we have the 25mm f1.7, which has a full frame equivalent focal length of just over 35mm. So that pretty much rounds out the Viltrox Air series APS-C trilogy of prime lens focal lengths just nicely. So let's go and see exactly what you get with this lens. It weighs in at 180 grams and has a 52mm filter thread. Minimum focus distance is 30 centimeters and lens construction is 12 elements in 10 groups, and it has 9 aperture blades. Aperture range is from f1.7 to f16, and the price at the time of making this video is $176 US. You can see from this example here, focusing between the foreground and background was relatively quick. Yoda in the garden test time, and here's what the bokeh is like in the background going from f1.7 through to f11. I had all the lens corrections turned on the Z52, but you still get some vignetting happening in the corners at f1.7. But by the time you get down to f2.8, that vignetting is a whole lot less. So having that close to 35mm full frame equivalent with this lens, it does excite me, because with that focal length, you can get such diversity in your shots in both stills and video. Everything from street to portrait photography to things like astrophotography. But the one thing I really had in mind for this lens was video. I love that focal length for video, and I created this short montage using the Viltrox 25mm f1.7 with my Nikon Z52. Astrophotography season is just starting here in my part of the world, and I managed to get these couple of shots. One at the end of blue hour and one at 2 AM in the morning. With the blue hour shot, you can clearly see the Southern Cross stars in the top right, just above that cloud. The 2 AM shot, well, that wasn't the best, and it was completely my fault, as I should have done this shot in much darker conditions. The foreground street lights and the wrong moon phase made it difficult, but you can just make out the galactic core beginning to come over the eastern horizon. I hope to get more with this lens and Z52 as astro season gets more into the swing here, and I'll share more images on my Instagram page. Like the other Viltrox APS-C Air Series lenses, I found this 25mm lens enjoyable to use for the fact that it's so light and compact. Image quality is very good, and it works very well in conjunction with my Z52. The subject detection focus modes also worked well. Personally, I loved using this lens for video. That frame size, the bokeh and low light capability is just beautiful, as you saw in my video montage. My only cons with this lens, I did get some noticeable vignetting wide open at f1.7, but stopping down to f2.8 did improve that significantly. The lens hood was also a little bit fiddly every now and again. Also worth remembering, this lens has no VR. So when using on a Nikon APS-C Z mount camera, which also has no internal VR, you will need something like a gimbal, tripod or monopod when shooting in slower shutter speeds and stills, or when shooting video. Well, that is unless you're going for that earthquake effect. So in terms of bang for your buck, I don't think you can get much better than these Viltrox APS-C Air Series lenses. When you think about it, you could buy all three of those Viltrox APS-C Air Series lenses that I mentioned in this video for a combined total of a little over $500 US. They may not be as rounded as the premium native prime lenses, but you do pay substantially more for those native lenses. So if your budget is tight, then it's worth having a look at these Viltrox APS-C Air Series lenses. They're available in the Nikon Z mount, Fuji X mount and Sony E mount. Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you want any more information about this lens, I've left you a link in the video description box below. As I always say, never stop creating, grab your camera, go out there and have some fun. I'll see you next time.